website right now and download my free course on alternate picking mastery. It contains 5 essential exercises that will take you to alternate picking mastery faster than you can imagine. And then I've included my method of how to lay out a practice plan in just 1 to 2 minutes that will absolutely boost your results like nothing you ever tried before. So go download it right now. It's free. Hey, there's a little pitfall that we all fall into because it's human nature. And sometimes human nature is against you. And I say sometimes, but most often human nature is against you because what you're trying to do here is learn something that's pretty alien to our basic build. We are amazing at adapting to stuff, right? That's why we are on the top of the food chain. We don't have claws. We're not very fast runners. We're not particularly strong, If you see a grizzly bear in front of you, you know what I mean. We're pretty vulnerable if it wasn't for our mind here and each other, basically. But so when we try to learn to play guitar, there are 100 pitfalls we can fall into, and one of them is in this video, and it's about our search for something new all the time. We like something new because we like to grow. We like to expand. We like to, it's just the human nature, right? Like a tree that likes to grow, or like everything grows in nature. And if it stops growing, it's ripe, right? And it starts to rotten. So human beings are basically growing all the time, and we want that. We want that new thing. It's human nature. And so, the car industry is really onto that. A new car was released, with a distance of 10 years in between when I was younger. And I was like, bam, 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 like 2 years or 3 years in between. It's just a new model and several new models. It's just like, it's exploding in new, right? And everybody knows that we don't want to buy the old stuff. We want the new model, right? We want the latest. And in particular in our society where everything's developing so fast, we want the new all the time. And that goes for this instrument as well. That as soon as we've learned something and we got it under our fingers, like that cool lick that we heard, and we look into it and we're all excited about it, and then we play it, whatever it is, right? And we get all excited about it and we learn it to the level of good. And we stop because now it seems like I have it, right? I'm an owner of it. It feels like I have it now. That was it. And then we go on to something new. So we go from things all the time, from one thing to another. And that keeps us effectively on a mediocre level when it comes to skills, because we never really focus intensely on just one thing. And I was lucky because I was born earlier. Now, before the internet was invented, at the time when I started playing guitar, we didn't even have videotapes. So maybe that was just around the time when videotapes was invented or came into, general production, mass production. But so I had nothing. So I had to if I had a one lick to practice, that was just, in a book about soloing, like with 20 pages in it, and there were a couple of example licks, and so I just practiced the same freaking lick over and over again. It wasn't genius. It was just, scarcity. I didn't have more inspiration than that. But these days, it's all over the place. You can go from one lily pad to another just so rapidly, and just enjoy the newness of everything you run into and just never expand above, intermediate, because you never, ever go for my one, the one thing that's most important to your development, which is mastery, right? And I listened to Mike Stern, I remember, and I played his... Right? He that's a known thing. I don't know if I'm playing it very accurately or not, but he was playing with that bend and having it be a semitone, half a semitone. And that made me learn just this little thing. Starting with the note that is bent, bending it, muting it, combining it with a little pull-off. Sorry. And that little thing is a huge thing when it comes to phrasing. And I stayed there for weeks, right? Every time I picked up my guitar, so I was copying that little part of his phrasing over and over and over again until the point where I could play it like he did. Literally. I didn't stop. I didn't go on to something new because there wasn't anything new, right? Inspiration was very limited. And so I stayed there, and that is the key. That is the key to achieving or getting beyond intermediate. Because just think about it. If you can do one thing at the level of expert, if you can do one thing at a world-class level, like just that little lick there, as good as Mike Stern, as good as anybody, influencing the note with the pinch harmonics and the bending and the pull-offs and the everything at the same time, because you've just been, focusing on that little bit over and over again like a meditation for weeks, and you get to that level. And if you can do one thing at the world-class level, at the expert, the mastery level, then you have mastery. And most people never go there because we get too much inspiration, basically. So, looks good over here, looks good over there. And there's nothing wrong with that. Don't I shouldn't do that. I'm a bad... No, get out of that, right? It's just, we have to counteract. Like I have an iPhone and I just want to look at it all the time. So I have to make a decision. I could be entertained all the time, but should I be entertained all the time, right? You get responsibility all the time. Every time we get a new commodity, a new great thing, we have to make new decisions. So you could be inspired. You can go from one amazing thing to another. But should you go from one amazing thing to another, right? Then you have to make decisions again. It's a drag living in this amazing reality of total abundance on all areas of life. So you have to make decisions. And a really, really important decision is to go push all the way to mastery with one thing. You might look into all kinds of other things, but use at least 75% of your time on total focus, and then play around with all kinds of stuff in the remaining 25%. As long as you, over time, keep that focus, use 75% of your time, just, right? And then, might want to have in the background, right? Don't know if right? And you just stay there. And if you just know a thing like this, there's nothing like it, like mastery. There's nothing like mastery. Most people never get to mastery at any point because we keep, repeating the same loop over and over again throughout our lives in different areas. So we never break out because we never focus like that, right? So focus on one thing and see if you can keep out of going from one new thing to another, because that's your natural intuitive inclination from nature. You have to work against that in order to achieve something that looks inhumane, that looks like that's alien skills, because you do alien things, right?